Hello, my name's Rob Edwards. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different because today I'm going to have some guests on the channel and we're going to do a live play of a role-playing game. But before that, this is all in order of my book, The Ascension Machine, by me, Rob Edwards. It is a sort of young adult science fiction superhero adventure yarn published last September 2020. And the second book, The Crossover Paradox, is due for release next year. So this video is not really sponsored as such, but it is really sponsored by me for me. But you'll see what the world's about and how it all works when we actually get into the game. So to do that, I'm going to have to introduce some good friends of mine who have volunteered, for better or worse. I think they're regretting it already, in fact. Let me introduce you to my team. On the screen here, the top left, you'll see Duncan. Hello, Duncan. In the middle, at the top next to me, is Kim. Say hi, Kim.
Hello.
Bottom left is Colin. Hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
Marvellous. And not last but least, no, that's wrong. Least but not last, no, anyway, it's Kelly. Just an accident of where you were. So today we are going to be playing Mutants and Masterminds, which is a D20 based superhero role-playing game. And the game is going to be set in the world and the universe of my book. Now, some of you have read my book, or at least some of you have read some of my book. I know not all of you have. And that's perfectly fine, because that'll just remind me to say things when they're not obvious, so that people who've not read my book have a vague idea what's going on. So, first of all, let's have a quick look at... Now, this is going to work this differently.
Who's not read your book?
I was told not to read it.
Me.
I see.
I was told not to read it because otherwise everyone would know everything.
You should read it. It is excellent, and it's available from all good retailers.
And
There's
Amazon.
some bad ones as well, actually.
There's quite a few bad ones.
So...
I have to go and get my copy. It's over on the settee.
Actually, that's a good one. Where is my copy? I've got a copy.
It's all right. Colin's got one. Look.
Colin's got it. Oh no, it's the same one.
Lots of books. Fantastic.
I wasn't prepared. Mine's upstairs.
I also have a range of short stories by the author Rob Edwards as well.
I the other day I took a photo of my me shelf in a whole sort of
Go for it.
Space, you know,
Yeah, we know what you're like.
It's actually getting quite nice actually. There's a fair range of books on the shelf now when I go into me mode.
I have a dedicated shelf of stuff that my friends have written, and I feel really sort of like that. And these are my friends' books. These ones. Look.
I've got a book on workforce planning I could send you then. I'm almost through it.
Okay. If you help write it, I'll I might not read it, but I'll have a copy.
Good.
So just to say, I am. It has to be said, more of a writer than an artist. So I'll just point out that I have drawn some pictures of the team's characters that we were playing today. They haven't actually seen their characters yet either, but these are the four players the four characters that they will be playing today. But more on that in a moment.
Are you cheating? Are you reading ahead?
I'm reading ahead, yeah.
Do we win?
Read the last page. Do we all die?
Do I make it? Or...
Yes, we do.
Well, now, to be clear, we're not going to be playing characters from the book.
No,
because I did want to avoid spoilers. There is in the game that we're playing next week. There is one sort of mini spoilerette which we'll have in there, because I'm going to have one of the cast from the book make an appearance in the game next week, and she will say something about some of the other characters in the book, which will be a spoiler of sorts, but not in any way which would affect anyone's enjoyment, I don't think. So if you've opened up your character sheet, this is the standard character sheet for Mutants and Masterminds in Roll20. And as ever in Roll20, a lot of this is you can create your roles just by clicking on the label for a thing.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be like that, is it? Okay.
I've got a presence of 2.
Are they nice presents?
2 presents? What sort of?
The scale is logarithmic, as I understand it.
Dear God.
So people have got an intelligence of 7 are streets ahead of the person who's got an intelligence of 6, essentially. So presence of 2 is actually pretty good. The average man on the street has 0s in all their stats. So you're
surely that's a bit harsh. 0s. At least give them a 1.
Well, the thing is, you can have negative modifiers. You can be half as good, I think, as a regular person by having a strength of -1. I haven't given anyone any minus scores in here.
The average woman on the street, of course, has got an average of 2.
Well, that's true. Yes. Very good.
So we're going to have to agree the whole diversity thing at some point.
Yeah.
You're a very diverse looking bunny.
Mr. Head of Diverse there.
Well, I suppose I'm the only person in my company, so I am now head of diversity again. Definitely the role for a white, middle-class, largely straight man to have.
Largely straight man.
I had some ambivalent feelings about Daniel Craig around about 2005.
Okay. See, but when I think diversity, I still think the dance group. So,
good point.
I
can also leap over several other people. So.
I hope Rob's finished recording this bit.
No, this is gold. This is all going in the edited highlights. No question at all.
We're going to get a bloopers roll.
It's going to be one long trailer of highlights.
No game, just highlights.
Powers and devices and advantages.
Pizza's turned up.
That's what you do, yeah?
The pizzas are the real life gaming action. This is what gamers really do. They eat pizzas and play things. That's the
Quantum Punch. That sounds fun.
So what I thought I'd do is sort of quickly go through everyone's characters with the group, so people have a vague idea what each others do. And we'll do it alphabetically. So we'll start with Kim, who's currently playing the character Enra. I have absolutely no problem if you decide that you don't like that name and you'd like to choose a different one for when we play next time. The same goes for everybody. If the stuff that you want to change before we play next time, that is perfectly okay. But let's have a quick look first of all at your stats and skills, Kim.
You've changed the page on me.
Sorry.
Can I apologise? They failed miserably to cut my pizza, so I'm going to slice it.
I thought I'd broken something, so it suddenly went from me reading my powers advantages to looking at my stats. No,
that's me, I'm afraid.
All right then.
So, first of all, you'll notice, I think, that you've got high stats in agility, fighting, and stamina. You are essentially the kind of in terms of the Justice Academy, the setting where the book is set. Your character is a skills student. Your character is all about having the peak abilities in normal things. So the stats you've got there are exceptional for your species, but aren't necessarily superhuman particularly. Mm-hmm. But you supplement that with intense training in staff fighting and detective work and things like that. So you've got a high investigation, a high staff skill, and
I've got wings.
And you've got wings. Well, that's because you are a polyphan. Polyphan are one of the species in the Ascension Machine's universe, and they basically look like humans with wings because it is a classic superhero trope. I was going to do Hephaestus next due to alphabet, but since Duncan is busy eating his pizza, I'll skip ahead to Infernia.
Infernia in the picture burning my armpit. Can I?
It's holding some barbecue coals.
I'm sitting on your head, so you know.
Do you have eyebrows?
I would again reiterate, I am a writer, not an artist. I was quite pleased with how the picture turned out, but apparently...
Very good.
That's a darn sight better than what I do,
Standalone,
thank you very much.
excellent. It's more the positioning, I think. That's my complaint.
So, Infernia is human. She is, in the interests of typical superhero secret identities, I've gone for alliteration. So her real name is Julia Jackman.
Wow.
But she goes by Infernia around campus. She is a powers student. So although she has got some skills, she's trained in a few bits here or there. She is stronger and tougher than normal because of her powers. But beyond that, if we have a look at your powers and advantages section there, you have your Magma Blast ability, where you can basically throw jets of heat and rock and molten rock at people, essentially.
She looks very happy with that skill.
You have the power which is called Burning Bright. Now, Burning Bright, to be honest, it was me really just playing with how Mutants and Masterminds work. Essentially, you have the option of instead of firing bursts of magma at people, you can kind of internalize and radiate that heat outwards. And what that means is if anyone touches you or you try and you can touch them, they potentially take damage from the heat. But also it means that you can burrow through solid ground because you can melt tunnels. You can dive into the ground so hot that you can basically tunnel your way underground. People could follow you if they felt like it, but that was me enjoying the options available.
That's a very useful student skill.
It is. It's a very useful student skill. And because of in your lava form, which does require an action to turn into. So if you're not in lava form at the start of combat, your first round is probably going to be spent turning into the lava form. But that gives you immunity to all heat and fire effects and a bit of extra toughness against...
You're going to need a code word, aren't you? The flame on version.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Or something. I'll come up with something. That'll be good.
Yeah,
Can I use lava form at the same time as lava? Is it like a switch it on and I can use my Magna Blast or Burning Bright at the same time?
Magma Blast and Burning Bright can't be used at the same time as each other, but your lava form can be.
Okay.
Your lava form, you can Magma Blast whether you're in lava form or not, although you probably want to be in lava form because it is a bit...
yeah, that is a bit cool. Why wouldn't you want to be in lava form?
Well, indeed. So the Quantum Champion is, again, open to change if you think that's just a little bit of a mouthful.
What was that?
The Quantum Champion.
Quantum Champion.
QC?
I feel like we need a theme tune. I'm feeling like, I want to start, doing some...
Bring my theme tune for next time.
Oh, no.
I need to find some royalty-free music, I can tell.
I'm sure we could sing something and it wouldn't sound remotely like what it's meant to, so you'll be fine.
You speak for yourself.
I will.
Yes, you did. Generally speaking, you again are a powers student. You are strong, you are tough. As a Colbran, you are you have heightened senses, so your awareness is pretty good as well. You do have jungle survival as advertised. You have on your powers basically you have quantum punch. I just like putting the name quantum in front of things.
You can't just put quantum in front of everything.
I mean, it's
Space Gym.
It's a classic. So basically, it's kind of energy field around your fist as you punch someone does an extra bit of damage than just punching them would otherwise do. You've got your quantum pulse, which I enjoyed as well. This is the classic. I'm going to channel all of my energy into a burst of power, and anything with, I think it's 30 feet is close burst in Mutants and Masterminds, but it seems to be a fairly broad close. But you do have the option basically of exploding essentially and doing a smaller amount of damage, not as much damage as your quantum punch does, but a smaller amount of damage in an area effect essentially. But that is a tiring effect, and you will get a level of fatigue after you use it. So you need a rest really after using it.
Perfect.
Quantum flight, you can fly. Your top speed is only 60 miles an hour, which is again pretty rapid, but it's going to
disappointing that.
It's not going to let you keep up with Enra, but you're faster than the others basically. And your Colburn senses give you acute vision, dark vision, and the ability to track using sight. Good.
What's Hedravan Lost Finder at the top?
That's your real name.
Is it? Hedrovan. Has Liam come back?
That way to completely blow your secret cover then. Oi, who's this such a... That'll be you.
Well, there you go.
I mean, it is bizarre. Although I talk about secret identity being a thing in the world of the Justice Academy, nobody seems to have a secret identity apart from Grey in the books. So I think if people want to call you Hedravan or if people want to call you the Quantum Champion, it's entirely up to you, really.
They're going to quantum punch if they do call me Hedravan.
I think we could go for a bit of a mouthful. I'm just going to call you QC.
Yeah.
QC? I am the Quantum Champion. Dun, dun, dun.
And let's finish up with Hephaestus.
Who's the slowest?
God.
Whose name is...
I chose the name.
Whose name is Carl Stregg, sorry, for some reason. Except Carl is spelled with a Q because science fiction.
Cool.
But no you.
No, you. I mean, come on. It's absolutely mad. This is the future. We've evolved past putting U's at the end after Q's. So you are basically super smart. And you have created your own power armor to stomp around in.
Whoa. Why the laughter? I thought we were role playing.
I wasn't intending that to be a funny point, but okay. We've lost Carl.
I think you might. My confidence is at quite a low end.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Duncan. Sorry.
Let's get back to the important topic here. Come on, move.
So yes, you are super smart apparently, and you created yourself a set of armor essentially, and if we have a look at your powers and advantages, all of your powers and advantages come from your suit. All of them technically have the disadvantage of can be removed from you, but they have to find a way to get you out of your armor essentially. But your armor is extremely tough and impervious to small damage. So if for example Enra were to attempt to hit you with her staff, she would not actually, whatever she rolled essentially, she would not be able to get through your armor. If she blasted you with the zapping bit, which is a stronger damage effect, that can get through, but she'd have to roll pretty well, essentially.
We would have practiced this, obviously.
Yeah.
What's the actual superhero name? It's not Carl. What's the...
Hephaestus.
I'm sure Hephaestus would have been like, "This is my new power armor. Everybody try it out." And I'm going, "Bomb." bop, bop. Not working. Zap. Oh, that worked. Sorry.
One thing we might do is actually have a combat as a training session amongst the group today, and sort of see how the games work that way. Your biopreservation systems, essentially built into your suit, is a full array med system. So even if somehow you take damage through your heavy armor, your armor can actually fix you again afterwards, which is quite groovy. And also, it makes you immune to suffocation effects. Basically, you've got your own air system within there. So poisonous gases or going into outer space. Going into outer space might be problems for other things, but in terms of breathing, that won't be a problem.
You were discussing
being
John
crushed
the
within
others. What's this outer space thing that's kicked in?
Well, we'll talk about the world in a moment. You have a thing called enhanced strength, but actually, your enhanced strength is weaker than two of the other three party members, and they don't have enhanced strength technically. But your armor enhances your natural strength, which is the strength of one man, basically. So it's you've got a basic strength of 0, I think, but your armor puts it all the way up to 4, which is pretty exciting.
It's one big man, though, Duncan.
So I've got to say, you're trying to sell me that I've got the strength of one man. One man.
My strength is 2, so
In turquoise armour.
Yeah, it was.
You remember?
It was originally going to be purple, but that kind of clashed with.
We can't have that.
With,
Clash with the Quantum Champion. Oh.
Okay, the colour's not whatever.
The colour needs work. We'll accept that. I did enjoy your propulsion system. Having had this conversation of you not wanting to be able to fly, I've basically given you a running speed. So in your armour, you've got a top speed of 30 miles an hour. You can run along in your heavy metal armour at a top speed of 30 miles an hour. So that's
flying is overrated. Flying, no one wants to go flying.
Nobody. That's just fact. That's well established.
Do you wander around the school wearing a beautiful teal possible armour all day? Or?
I'm curious because all of these have had the word removable at the bottom of them.
Yeah, well, that's because if you're not wearing your battle suit, they all go away.
Yeah, good. And obviously, I would maybe wear something else.
Yes, I'm assuming you do not enter your
onesie.
They will be chafing.
You must
need to
have
wear your
special
battle
long
pants.
johns.
Yeah,
Pants.
battle pants.
I remember Star Wars, and I don't know, it doesn't.
Maybe you've never seen your face.
I think we've been watching different Star Wars.
You go for the He-Man look with loincloth boots and a weird
Furry
cross.
loincloth. Furry.
Just the hell.
Anyway, come on, let's go on to the interesting stuff. We don't need to discuss what we're wearing. Look, not the interesting one. What's this one then, Rob?
Your stun ray visor. Yes.
I love.
It was originally wrist mounted, but I was having problems fitting a picture of a wrist mounted gauntlet on the picture. So I put it into your helmet after all.
You've limited my abilities based upon your.
Absolutely, I have. Absolutely, no question.
Oh, I love it.
You have a non-lethal attack system. So instead, everyone else has a damage power, and you have an affliction power, which basically means that when you hit people with it, you can daze them, you can stun them, or you can render them unconscious, essentially. But you don't actually physically damage them in any way. In Chapter 1, I believe there is a security guard who is a Colburn station security that come chasing after Grey.
Yes.
That is
Shoulder fur rippled.
Yeah, all Colburn have massive furry shoulders because it amuses me, essentially.
Is that the only?
So that isn't part of the cloak.
No, that's not part of
That's
the
his
cloak.
actual shoulder. Oh, friends. Okay then.
Unwanted body hair. I can go there.
Just the shoulders, yeah.
Just for sure.
We can't see the back.
Oh,
Or my chest
Love it.
wig.
It carries on down in a V shape.
why do I think that? And I'm going to get his name wrong again. Duncan's character's name. I've got to write them down.
If anyone wants to come up with a different name for Hephaestus that everyone can remember,
Hephaestus. That's all right.
that would be useful.
Hephaestus. No, why do I think Hephaestus is a bit like Mr. T? And we'd have to like go look over
Sorry,
there,
like Mr. What?
Mr. T, so that we go look over there, and the two of us that can fly pick him up under each arm, and then try and get him to a location before he realises we've picked him off the floor.
You've got to give him milk.
We could give him milk.
Say Eclipse for some reason.
Who was the
So-
intelligent?
Blimey, Rob. I thought we
Who
went
was
to
the-
cutting edge
Who was the intelligent
80s
one?
reference.
Hannibal.
Eclipse.
I'm very, very young. I want to be really
One
clear
episode,
about
that was.
this.
One episode.
Are we going with?
It is the only sort of story element from an A-Team episode I genuinely it always amused me.
It's the only time they ever ran out of ammunition.
Yeah, that's right.
Throw in the clips. The clips.
Are we calling you QC, or are you going to be Quantum Champion?
I am the quantum champion.
Oh, jeez,
QC.
champion. Everybody, we're behind his back. QC, and then Infernia.
My worry is you're going to shorten Hephaestus to Hef.
No.
That's just...
The Hef, no, the Hoff. The Hoff. No, Hephaestus. I think I may have spelt it completely wrong, but I've spelled it how I'll say it. So,
So you got a PH in there, yeah?
no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, put one.
It's her fastest.
And it's how future spell stuff.
Actually, it's how ancient people spell stuff because Hephaestus is a
God of armory god. Yeah.
in Greek mythology.
Yes, he makes stuff. I think it's the one that
Like a blacksmithy type.
Yeah.
the guy in the middle in Thor. It's different mythos, but it's essentially the same route.
The guy who
With
looks
the guy who was looking after the spinning world, played by Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
yes.
That kind of. He's married to one of the very high up ones, wasn't he? Vaguely. I need to look up my Greek mythology. Yeah.
God
that's
or
right.
Peter? Okay, I'm like the God was
I'm
married
glad
to
we
a
cleared that
higher
up.
No, Hephaestus was married to. No, I don't remember either.
I think. No, I don't know.
I think it
God. Oh,
was.
lad.
Hephaestus
Used to sell posters.
does briefly appear in the Hercules Disney movie, if that's any help.
Nice.
He's crafting thunderbolts to throw up to Zeus so that Zeus can use them to attack the Titans.
Yeah, whatever he's like. Yeah.
Yeah, Aphrodite. I mean, boom.
Well,
He
your luck's in
punching
there,
above
son.
his weight there.
Okay, so if everyone had their character sheets open, that would probably help things along.
Oh,
And
Rob's
for
like,
the
"I'm moving
most
on."
part, at least at the start, you'll want to be on your the sort of main stats page.